I was a small victim of, you might call it, domestic violence. I had I don't even know, kind of an uncle.
Domestic violence is almost an epidemic. What can we do as a society to handle domestic violence? Hey, this is Ruchi Singh, and you're watching Ruchi Singh Talks, together creating an inspired life through motivational videos, inspirational interviews of military personnel, thought leaders, and experts. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever there is a new video. So let's dive in. My guest for today is a spiritual master, art of living teacher. He's an international speaker, having spoken in 30 plus countries. He has 10 plus TEDx talks under his belt. It is my absolute honor to have Khurshid Batliwala, whom we in the Art of Living family lovingly call Bawa. Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Nice of you to invite me.
It is my absolute pleasure to have you. As we were discussing earlier, domestic violence is almost an epidemic, and according to World Health Organization, 1 in 3 women will face sexual or physical violence, most likely from the intimate male partners in their life. As you know, I do my bit to create awareness around this issue. So, what do you think? What can we do as a society to handle it?
I think it starts from the parents themselves. When, I remember my own childhood. Uh, Mom and dad, I'm sure they fought with each other, but they would never fight in front of us children. Never ever have I ever heard my father give a gali in front of us, ever.
Yes.
And we grew up in the Parsi colony where they use galis as punctuation marks. So they've not heard of commas and full stops. The most disgusting galis will be used just like that. And dad grew up in that society, in that environment, but
Yes.
he never said a gali in front of my sister or me, ever. Right? Uh, they would go out. I know sometimes mom and dad would just walk out of the house in a huff, and we would not even really know that they are angry or something. We would think they just went for a walk. So one of the things is that if the parents are loving and gentle with each other, children listen and children learn.
Yes.
It is very possible that the guy or the woman, and I have heard of women hitting men as well, by the way.
Yes.
These the children will be so much more well balanced.
Yes.
I know this so well. Children listen, children learn.
Yes.
On one hand, you will tell the child, don't tell lie, and then the boss calls and you tell the child, tell that dad is not at home.
Yes.
So I think the first step is parents should meditate. Parents should have sweeter dispositions. And when I understand that parents will have problems with each other, we are human beings, we fight. Maintain a safe, secure space for your child, and that child has very little chance of violence as they grow up. Thinking also of inflicting. Like, I cannot think also of hitting somebody. I cannot even think about it. I cannot even dream about it. By the way, I was a small victim of, you might call it, domestic violence. I had I don't even know, kind of an uncle we used to live in a joint family, and he was a little cuckoo. He was mentally disturbed sometimes. And I remember one day I was just eating food with my grandmother, and this guy came and he pulled my grandmother and slapped her. And when I tried to stop him, he slapped me so hard I flew across the hall. Then I still had the presence of mind to, open the door and run and call the neighbors.
Yes.
And this guy always maintained, I'm a very cool, very nice person demeanor. So he immediately, that whole episode came to an end. I was in the fifth or the sixth standard at that point. And even when now I'm talking about it, I'm still feeling a little bit of discomfort, in my body as I talk about this.
Yes.
It was an awful thing to happen. And for me, I learned from it that I will never do something like this. For me, that was the learning, because I grew up in such a safe, wonderful family.
Yes. Yeah.
That when something like this happened, the thought that I should do this to others did not even occur to me. So I guess the first thing is the parents need to be aware that what they are doing, what they are saying is affecting their children, and that is having long-term consequence on the children.
In fact, I like to add to it that there's a whole lot of research behind it, and the research shows that children who come from violent families find it very challenging to adjust in the society, and a lot of them, not everyone, but a lot of them also grow up to become a victim, or sometimes unfortunately they become abusers too. So it is my humble request to the parents that no matter what you are doing, please at least think about the child who is totally dependent on you, because your actions can have far reaching effect on the psyche of that child for his or her whole life. One incident which happened years back had such a deep impact on you, and to children who are regularly exposed to this over a prolonged period of time will find it so much more challenging to handle it. And a child is not equipped to handle this kind of experience.
That is where I will bring in something else that we do. It is called craniosacral therapy, CST.
Okay.
Dinesh and I and Dr. Ankita Delia, the three of us teach this course on craniosacral therapy through the Art of Living.
Okay.
And it is a very gentle touch technique, which has the ability to even remove very deep-seated traumas. So we have worked with people who have had abuse. We have worked with people who have had mental issues, injuries, like I call them. And we've had very, very good result. More than 80% of the times, those people have bounced back very quickly into, the nicest thing I've heard them say is, I am myself again. You know,
Beautiful feeling.
Yeah, I am myself. I'm thank you so much. I'm myself again. So this is something that I would encourage many people to learn. When the trauma is fresh and it is treated, it is very easy to get rid of.
Yes. Yes.
As it sits inside and gets a hold, then it becomes more and more difficult. It's like you've twisted your ankle and you keep banging the foot.
Yes. So,
So,
did it help people who have had trauma, say, years back, especially in case of sexual abuse?
Yes, very much it can help. We have helped quite a few women and one or two guys also who have been sexually abused, who could not have sex, and now they are
fine,
doing it fine. So
yes.
So yes, it can help.
Thank you so much for sharing it. I have shared the link to this in the comment section below.
Third is, if you are with an abusive partner, get help.
Yes.
Don't feel shy in asking for help. If required, go to the police. If the police don't help, go to a lawyer. Find a friend. Open your mouth and talk. The one thing I realized about this guy who hit me was, when other people came, he completely, stopped.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't know how much he would have hit my grandmother and me.
Yes.
The presence of mind to open the door and ring the neighbor's bell saved us. Because these people who are abusers are normally very nice people outside. Nobody will believe that this person can do something like this. So when they are exposed like that, many times they stop.
This is a very, very powerful and important point. We have to speak up. We have to give voice to whatever abuse has taken place, because the abusers are actually banking on the silence of the victims. And this is the reason why I chose to share my story. It's not easy to share something so personal, but I talk about it because somebody has to talk about it and create awareness. And when I was suffering, I thought I was all alone. But once I started researching, I realized that a lot of abusers, like in your case also, a lot of abusers are perceived as being very, very likable. very suave, sometimes they're very sophisticated because they have a different persona outside of the house and a different persona inside of the house. So you have shared some very interesting and very, very pertinent points, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to benefit from it, and a lot of people who luckily have never faced this will also understand that how challenging and confusing this issue can be.
So I would say, yeah, you ask for help. You have to open your mouth and ask for help. Know that you are not alone. Know, like you said, know that many people have been victims of this, and it's not necessary to be a silent victim.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Acha, once you are out of it, forgive that person.
Yes, forgiveness is very, very important and powerful. And it is not for the other person. When we forgive someone, we are actually doing ourselves a favor.
If they made your life miserable for whatever time, understand that you allowed it also, because you stayed. So you had some part in it. Even though you were a victim, you allowed it. Right? So you had some part. You could have walked out much earlier. You could have asked for help much earlier. You didn't do that. Right? Whatever their messed up mind was, many times these people are not even in control of themselves when they are doing this, because they are always very sorry afterwards.
Yes,
They
yes,
always say,
yeah.
please forgive me, I didn't mean it, I will never do it again, etc., etc., etc. So they know somewhere that they are doing something which is alien to their own nature, and they too need help. So
Yes.
think of that person as, here I would say, mentally ill, not mentally injured, but mentally ill, and they need help. And just as you would have compassion for someone who is ill, have compassion for this person. Say, okay, this person did whatever they did to me because they were ill, and let me just forgive it and leave it. And now they are, let me get on with my life.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And that is again where spirituality, where meditation, where your commitment towards your sadhana will really help you let go of the past.
Yes, and it is
Okay.
also for our own self, because if you can't forgive someone,
Yeah.
like Dalai
Yeah.
Lama said, hating someone is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies.
Yeah. I like Gurudev saying, you got someone as a tenant in your head and they are not paying rent.
Yes, absolutely brilliant.
I'm sure there are many other ways of coping. I am not really much of an expert on this, but these are the things that I think anybody and everybody should do.
Yes.
Just the other day, in fact, I got a email from one girl saying that her parents abuse
Hmm. Yes.
her. And unfortunately for her, her mother is in some government position, so even the police don't take her complaint.
Hmm.
So I told her, you have to get out there and seek help. You have to ask some lawyer. You have to go to some friend. You have to go and ask, talk.
Yes.
You cannot just sit at home and get abused.
Yes.
No?
And
So I would really say this: open your mouth and ask for help. And once you have got the help and you are out of it, move on. Forgive that person and move on. You have a life to live. So one more thing I guess we should mention is, which I kind of had taken for granted, given that my family is the way it is
yes.
that when someone reaches out for help, don't dismiss them, especially if you are their parents. Don't say, "Arey, the usual thing, ghar ki baatein ghar mein hi rakho," and all that. It is your son or daughter who is suffering, and they're asking for help, and you need to be open to help them. Yeah. There is just a lot of too much that goes on in lots of families about being football of other people's opinions. Parents need to really think of their children first, especially in these cases.
Yes.
uh, you know even in the terms of allowing their children to make mistakes and fail. Many parents, तुम तो first आओगे, तुम तो crack करोगे, तुम तो ये करोगे, तुम तो वो करोगे. But hey, what if I fail?
Yes.
I need to have a safe space to come back to when I have failed. Then otherwise people go and jump off tall buildings.
Yes. Unfortunately, true.
You'll not believe the amount of messages I get where women have reached out to me saying that they are in a very desperate situation, and unfortunately they have no place to go because their own parents are more worried about the society than their own child. And I'm so glad you brought this point up, and it is my request also to the parents, whether it is your son or your daughter, if they reach out to you talking about something which may be something very unpleasant, but be there for them and support them. See, understand this. If your child unfortunately does something and if you lose your child, then keeping the society happy will be a very, very empty feeling. Don't worry about what the society will say.
So parents need to know this, that not always life will work the way they think it should. You also need to know not always it will work the way you want it to, and there should be flexibility in your plans to accommodate failure. And don't look at it as failure, look at it as a lesson, learn from it and feel grateful and move on. Okay, this also I learned something, I am moving on, I am moving on, I am moving on. Like,
Yes.
so when someone reaches out to you for help in whatever way, please help them. It can make a huge difference to that person. And if you don't have the expertise to help, say I don't have the expertise, but encourage them to go and meet someone who can help.
Yes. This is a very, very important thing you shared, because a lot of women, and also, like you rightly said, men, because men have their own problem. I know a lot of people who were sexually abused as children,
Mm,
boys, but
mm,
they could not reach out for help to anyone. So
mm.
all of us, men and women, we need sometimes help, and that time, if family support, even a bad situation becomes better.
Exactly. And I must also add that today sometimes I have seen many places also people over exaggerate things also. I personally know of at least two or three men who have really not done anything, and the laws of the country have been abused and they have been put in jail,
Yes, yes,
uh, because the law is like very favorable for the women.
yes.
And I really sincerely pray that this kind of abuse does not happen, because otherwise the law will be changed and everybody will be at risk again.
I totally agree with you on this. Even I know of such cases, and I personally feel that it is very wrong. The laws have been made for a purpose, and the purpose is to help. A lot of women are in very bad situation, and it is made to protect those women. So the other women who misuse it and lie about being harassed or ill-treated, I would like to say it is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. And I believe in karma. When you harm someone knowingly for no fault of theirs, it is going to come back. And even if you don't believe in karma, think of your own mental peace.
Where domestic violence is concerned, uh, you know, please reach out for help. And parents, like I said earlier, make sure you give a safe, secure environment for your child to grow in, and do your sadhana, seek out some craniosacral therapy appointments. All these, all any alternative healing methodology will really help in these situations.
Even though we have come to the end of this video, but we will meet again in the next video with Himbawa, and I will talk about how to overcome sex and porn addiction. If someone doesn't believe in the existence of God, does it make them a bad person? How to know if we are making the right decision? How can we emphasize the importance of hard work and determination to a child? Is there a way to learn math at the age of 33? And finally, what happens in our brain cells when we meditate? Is there any other way to get that effect? So stay tuned and come back again for the next video.
It was great being here with you guys. Jai Gurudev. Good night.
Thank you so much for doing this. It was such a lovely experience talking to you, and I'm sure a lot of people will benefit from it. To all my audience, I'll be sharing all the links in the description below, so please go buy the books, do the courses, And don't forget to subscribe so that you come back for the next video. Thank you so much. Thank you.